What are your fears and hopes around pregnancy and becoming parents?
Ooh, good question. So how did you tell Winston that you were pregnant? Huh? How did you tell him?
Who do you think will be the more strict parent? Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Mayfair.
And I'm Winston.
And we are
the Clements. What are we doing today?
Today is part 2 of the Q&A. So if you're around
earlier this week
video, we did part 1. Is Winston's condition genetic, and does the baby have a chance of being born with it? Do you get pregnant through IVF?
So what kind of foods have you been craving?
Of our pregnancy related Q&A. So if you haven't checked that out already, make sure you go there first. We're trying to basically answer as many questions as we can, like from the different platforms. But a note on that, actually, we actually have a way to, if your question wasn't answered, or maybe you just want to feel more involved in the process, how can people do that? Yeah,
because funny enough, when you do these Q&A videos, sometimes by answering questions, you generate even more questions. And so one of the things that we've been doing is using an app called Throne. And Throne is basically just like a WhatsApp group chat. That's how I describe it. And we've been using it just to have a way of connecting with people, I guess more informally. And answer questions on the fly, share pictures, videos. We can go live in there, which we're trying to do once every 2 weeks. So yeah, check out Throne. Details in the description. We'd love to continue this conversation even after this video.
And this is really for like our tribe people. Like there's a couple of names like I always recognize, like from our subscribers or commenters or people who are always on the premiere. If you're one of those people, then you want to be on Throne, because this is where like it feels like a family, you know, like we're like live as we buy like the first baby clothes. You're going to be getting the pictures.
Yes, especially those YouTube aunties and uncles.
Yes.
Or you know, you want to have all the tea, all the details.
All the tea. Or when like baby like has like a growth spurt, you want to be the ones who are like, oh my gosh, like look at the bump. So yeah, make sure.
Exclusive content.
Give them a bump shot, is that
Well, maybe we save that for Throne, actually.
Okay, wow.
Let's move on.
The commercials. Okay, cool. So let's go on to our first question of part 2. When is the baby due?
So we're not actually going to be providing the specific date. But I think we could provide the month.
And also I think there's like a ridiculous percentage how many babies actually come on their due date. So it's
the due date is just it's very rarely accurate.
So it's a ballpark.
It's a ballpark. But for us, the month is January. So January 2022, it's going to be new year and new addition to our family.
So I'm about 16 weeks at the point of recording this, so 4 months.
Shall we move on? So how did you tell Winston that you were pregnant? Huh? How did you tell him?
So again, like I've been saying, I had the footage and then I deleted it. I've had so many useful people like kind of showing me how I can recover them.
Yeah, we're gonna try and do that actually.
Well, a lot of them are like, they keep it on the system for 30 days. But it's been a lot more.
A few months.
Than 30 days now since it's been more than 30 days now since I told you. So unfortunately I didn't get that recorded, but I think I've seen like some people on YouTube like do these like really like elaborate plans, or like they'll get, you know, like a, I don't know, like a box or something, or like a
message in a bottle.
Like oh, you're gonna be a dad.
And
I think that's adorable and really cute, but I just couldn't wait, partly because I was like in shock, like oh my gosh, like I need someone to like, the way I came in with the test was like, babe, like can you read this? Like, are you seeing what it says right now? So yeah, that's how I told him. Like I took the test in the bathroom. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I took the test to him in the office, and I was like, oh my god.
And I was like, the whole time.
Pretty much.
But yeah, we have talked about this in the how we found out videos. So check it out if you haven't already.
Indeed. Okay, so the next question, how many children do you two want and how far apart?
So when we got married, I think we were quite excited about having lots of babies. We were thinking like football team levels.
Yeah, well, we said 5.
Yeah, we said 5 to begin with.
Maybe this is where the twins came from, because I think we always spoke about having twins. And I still do think we're going to have twins, like, at some point down the line.
So, are we still sticking to 5 or are we revising that number?
You tell me, father of the house.
Fine. Let's have 5 babies.
I don't even know why I'm saying yes, like I'm not the one who's going to be carrying them. Not to mention pushing them out. Like, that's why I'm pregnant. I wait, this baby has to come out somehow.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm also not too attached to a particular number. I think for me, 5 it just felt like a good number, because I think both of us imagine having like a big family, like, you know, lots of joy, lots of different voices in the house and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it may end up being 5, but, you know, if it ends up being 3 or 4, I'm not mad with that either.
Yeah, I feel like I'm open. 5 is probably 5 is my max now, but like, unless I'm led differently.
Unless you have like quadruplets,
yeah, after having like 2 more. But yeah, I think 5's like the max. But I'd be open to having like less than that. But like, it kind of depends, and I feel like, I don't know if it's one of those things where like, once you've had the number that you think, you're like, okay, this feels like our family completed now. But again, you never know what God can do. You can come and say, yeah, I'm done with 2, and God's like,
here's 2 more.
Here's 1 more, 2 more, 3 more. So, and how far apart do we want them? I've always said, like, I would kind of want them close together, like, just kind of logistically as well.
Yeah, just to kind of get through the stages, like, in one hit.
Yeah,
as opposed to kind of, like, having to redo the nappy stage, for example.
Changing nappies and then preparing someone to go to college, like... I think some people can do it, but I feel like when you're like in that kind of phase, also I think it'd be really cute to raise like kids who are pretty close in age. Like, I know you and your sisters.
Yeah, I think it kind of adds like almost like a friendship dynamic, because again, they go with me and my sisters, we're going through similar things.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time, so you can kind of like
relate to each other.
I think for me, I still consider my sisters to be, you know, 2 of my closest friends.
Yeah,
because we're kind of like, no one seems like too old that they feel hard to connect to, or too young that they wouldn't understand you.
And even me kind of growing up with a twin, and my brother as well, he's only 4 years older, which I still think is like a good age gap. Like, we still had like fun growing up, we still do have fun. So yeah, I feel like it would just be nice for them to grow up together. Also, I think postpartum recovery can be difficult, like physically, mentally, all of that. Pregnancy as well, especially the first trimester, isn't easy. So I definitely want to give myself enough time to kind of recover. And
listen to your body.
Yeah, listen to my body and be good mentally. Because I know with this one, this is my first time doing it. So I'd want my second child or third child or whatever to have the experience of me at my best, even though that may look different with having like a toddler or another child around. So yeah, we don't know, but I think probably pretty close together.
Ideally. What kind of birth are you planning? Natural, epidural? Yeah, it's for me to choose.
No.
Okay.
Even before kind of finding out we were pregnant, did you have like a picture of like what kind of birth?
I wouldn't say I had a picture. I think, and this is something that we've talked about even with your mom, because like all the people, at least close people to me, like whether it's family or friends who've had a child, it's always been in a hospital setting.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't even allow, or like it wasn't in my awareness that, I mean, I knew people had home births, but I just couldn't really conceptualize it, because everyone that I know goes to the hospital and comes back with a baby. So like in terms of options, I was kind of thinking, you know, okay, default is going to the hospital. But then when we talked about it, you know, with your mom sharing her experience as a, you know, training as a midwife, yeah, it just really helped me understand how we sometimes over medicalize something that should be a natural process.
Yeah, and I think for me, like even before finding out I was pregnant, I have pictured a home water birth.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what I pictured. Maybe it's kind of in line with other beliefs that I have as well, kind of just in terms of trying to do things as naturally as possible. And also, again, like kind of that whole thing, of course there can be complications and whatnot, but I don't think in and of itself pregnancy is a medical condition, and I don't think giving birth is a medical emergency. So I'd love to be able to do it at home and just kind of have that relaxed feel throughout. Also, home is like our environment, so I think that would be the place that I feel most comfortable and relaxed. And so far, like my experience of even with my midwife, all of my visits are at home now, unless I need to go to the hospital for a scan or like for something where they need special equipment, which I really just love, instead of having to kind of go to the hospital. I think it's just a nicer experience. So yeah, we're planning a natural home water birth. I think you kind of get more control as well over, I think in hospital things can kind of be rushed. I've kind of seen with like different birth vlogs where like they kind of just take the baby away, probably like for legitimate reasons, like they're just trying to move quickly, but for me, I wouldn't want that situation.
It's a little bit traumatic.
Very. So yeah, I think with a home birth that we kind of get a bit more control over how things go. Make sure the people that I want involved are fully involved, obviously, mainly being Winston and kind of whoever else we choose to have at the birth.
So, this is a good one.
Ew.
What will the baby room nursery theme be? I feel like I have an idea. Neutral colours?
Well, I mean, that's a funny question because I feel like, are we having
if you know Mayfair, you just know she loves neutral colours. So.
We, as a family,
I've been converted.
Love neutral colours.
I used to wear red, blues, pinks, purples, but nowadays it's pretty
black, cream,
pretty neutral. But yeah,
I can't be the only wife who, like, when you get married, like he just, because he doesn't enjoy clothes shopping, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do your clothes shopping, and then just pick things I like. Do you like the clothes, right?
I love it. Comment in below if you like my newly acquired sense of dress.
We need to go shopping with him. They didn't know if they knew how you dressed before.
That is true.
Maybe
just comment if you like how I look. How about that?
There we go.
Let's do that.
Yeah, but first, do we have a nursery? Are we having a baby room? That's the first question.
It's I guess it's an interesting one because, like we shared before, our plan was to move to the US.
Yes.
Next year. So this apartment that we're in is a bit of it's like a stepping stone to where we're gonna live eventually.
Yeah.
And it's probably a bit smaller than we would like it to be in terms of like having a baby here.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna have like a whole separate nursery. If anything, we're just gonna create a space within this place, and then look to do up a nursery and a proper baby room when we do shift across.
Yeah, because also, like, I think even if we did have like a bigger place to have a whole nursery, I think in the first 6 months anyway, I would want the baby to have their own cot, have their own bed, but I'd want them to sleep in our rooms anyway. And I think that's advised, like, just from what I've kind of been reading up on. And I kind of feel like and this is not to knock anyone who has a nursery, like, I think it's really useful to have. But for us, I kind of feel like when you have like a whole room, you kind of want to fill it with things that we maybe don't necessarily need, but we have a pretty big master bedroom, so there's enough space to have like a cot, you know, like a nursing chair, like all of the things that would make it comfortable without kind of being excessive, especially because we are planning to move to the US eventually. And I think there's like a lot of pressure in general, like in terms of consumerism with babies and like things that you should have, and like feeling the FOMO if you don't have them. But I think we're just keen to not kind of give in to that or feel like we have to. But yeah, the baby would be Well, that's for the first.
Yeah, and I think that's us generally. I think we prefer a more
minimalist
style. Like if there was like a scale, I think would be definitely towards the minimalist side of things anyway.
Yeah.
With or without baby. So she's gonna stick to that because that's what works for us.
Okay, so the next question is, what are your fears and hopes around pregnancy and becoming parents?
Ooh, good question. I think maybe these evolve over time as well. So like in the first trimester, of course you hear things about miscarriages and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that was on my mind.
Yeah, same.
I think also just thinking about, you know, the health of the baby.
In general.
Yeah, in general, and also for us, you know, with our situation. Yeah, I think it's just that whole praying for a baby who is as healthy as they can be, as happy as they can be, doesn't suffer, doesn't experience any pain, which I think is just a general thing for any parent to be. Think of any others?
Yeah, like the first trimester, the biggest one was just fears around miscarriages, honestly, because it can happen regardless of anything that you do.
Yeah.
So it was honestly just like a really like thank God moment when we passed that kind of milestone. And yeah, obviously the health of the baby, like you have different tests that are offered to you during pregnancy. Thankfully every one of those has been fine, but it can, like, you can have that moment like what if,
heart-stopping moment.
just mainly from the perspective of, again, like you want your child to have, you know, as easy a life as possible, without kind of like pain or suffering. And I think kind of with the pregnancy, mainly around birth, but I don't even know if it's fears, like in a really like, not even in a strange way, I'm actually excited to give birth. Even being pregnant, I feel really in touch with my womanhood, and I'm trying to do more and more each day to be in touch with that and to be present in this experience, just through self-care and things like that. So I'm excited about giving birth, but there's nerves there in the sense that it's completely new, and I know it's going to be one of the most physically demanding things that I will ever have to do. It's more nerves around. I just don't want to be a mean person because you're in a lot of pain, like you can be in a lot of pain, so I want to make sure my poor husband is like doesn't get punched in the face, basically. Just being comfortable. I feel like it's very raw, but I don't know if that's like really a fear, mainly around health, and also like my health. I think there's already like a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way. Being on YouTube as well, you have people that feel the need to comment on how you look all the time. Oh, you gained weight, like what's that nose piercing in your nose? Your nose looks bigger, that's how I knew you were pregnant. Like all of those little comments, which are just like, it makes you conscious, like, anyway. But I don't know, I feel like that's like a fear that I let go of like pretty early on. I really trust my body. My weight gain so far has been healthy and at a normal pace.
And I think you really come into your own as well, especially in the second trimester. I think you know, your energies come back, you know, everyone's saying you're glowing, so I think we're in a good place. Lots more to be excited about than to be fearful of. Oh
yeah, we didn't even talk about excitement giving birth, like seeing our baby. I think for the first time as well. Pregnancy excitement, again, like just that whole coming into my womanhood. Not that giving birth or carrying a child is anything that makes you a woman, but it is one of those things that for me makes me just feel really in touch with that side of myself. What about parenthood? Because that was in the question as well. Are there any hopes and fears you have for being a parent? And daddy? Not just a daddy.
I think...
Sorry.
You know, I'm actually really excited to be there at the birth. I think initially I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I want to be there. You know, I can't.
You don't know if you want to be there.
No, as in.
Oh no.
Sorry, I mean, I don't know if I want to like just be in that environment, because it just kind of felt. I think it's when I was picturing it as a medical thing, which can kind of seem okay. Like I know I have to be there, but I'm not particularly excited to be there. It's like
apprehensive.
Yeah, a bit apprehensive. It's almost like being there when someone's having surgery. Kind of thing.
Exactly. Sorry, I won't go into. In my own channel, I'll talk about the home natural birth thing. But
yeah, check out Mayfair's channel here. She goes into the proper tea on there. Yeah, but like I think when we started like talking more about the home water birth and like even my role in that feels more important.
So this just makes me happy because like I know we talked about it, but I love that you're excited about that as well, because I want you to feel like comfortable and like happy, and because this is your environment as well, right? Whereas hospitals, like having to ask where the loo is, things like that.
Because when I watch those things on TV or from what I hear from other people, when it happens in the hospital, like the husband's job is literally like to talk to you and comfort you. Or to hold your hand.
Squeeze your hand.
2 things.
And then get your hand slapped.
That is it. Yes, that is it.
Get off!
Your fingers broken because, you know, your wife's squeezing too hard.
But
like here, it feels like I can do more. I can be of a better support and actually be part of that experience as well. And then parenthood-wise, I'm just excited to teach my baby new things, man.
Can you today I'm feeling very broody. Like everything's giving me the feels. But
I'd say, you know, I think we talked about this the other day a little bit, but just things that are passions for me. Like I'm excited to explore those with my children. So whether that's like, you know, drawing, because I really like art.
Guys, he's a really great drawer.
And I haven't practiced for a long time, but I really love that, and I'd love to kind of re-explore that with my child. And then even other things, just like maybe things where I didn't do as well growing up, so like learning to express my feelings from an early age is probably a skill that I develop later. And I think if I can impart some of that to my child early on, that'll be a really cool, put them in a really good place. They can learn to be effective communicators, especially after about those emotions. So anyway, we're digressing. This is a separate video now.
I just can't wait to see his dad. Like, that's gonna like turn my.
Somebody called me Papa C the other day. Papa C.
Papa C. He's been calling himself Baba Yao.
He's been calling himself Baba Yao.
He's their father.
So hashtag Papa C.
Papa C. Alright, so we've got 2 more questions. Do you have any baby names in mind? Yes, we do, in short. Yes.
Short answer, yes.
Like we've got a girl's name and a boy's name in mind. We're not going to be sharing the names until the baby's born. But we've got like two solid options for baby names.
We didn't have like a long short list. I feel like we only explored maybe 4 or 5 names in total.
More boys' names, like
more boys' names.
With girls' names.
I think girls' names were pretty set from early on. But that's something that you'll come to know about in the future.
Yes, indeed. All right, final question. Who do you think will be the more strict parent?
I think it's gonna be me.
Interesting. I think that's a straight up lie. Like,
Okay. I think it depends. If it's a girl, I think I'll be softer.
She's literally gonna.
My daughter's just gonna walk all over me. She's gonna get away with everything.
I always say this. If it's a girl, I'm literally gonna be like, no, you can't have that. And then she'll come up to me like, but daddy said.
And I'll be like, yes, I did say, leave her alone.
And I'll be like, okay, this is what you want to do. Okay. Remember who came first. I'm joking.
Yeah, so I think if it's a girl, then, you know, my strictness meter will be like very low. If it's a boy, I feel like it's going to be like more man-to-man, challenging each other, that kind of thing. So I think I'll push him a little bit more. How about you?
I definitely think I'd be the more strict parent, regardless if it's a boy
regardless of gender.
Regardless of
gender.
Go
to bed.
No, like I think I'm gonna we're both gonna be loving and caring parents, and I think there's like often the dynamic that people think there has to be of like one is the strict parent, one is the caring parent. I want both Like, I want our child to kind of like see us as both of those things, like people who are responsible for making sure they develop that kind of like discipline and tenacity in life, as well as like knowing that they're fully loved. But I don't know, maybe not. Like I think I just kind of have very like clear views on, I don't even know if standards is the right word, but me anyway, like as a coach, what I do is I see something in people and I will go beast mode to call that thing out in you, like equal parts fierce and equal parts kind of caring. So I can just imagine, like, if I had like a child, how much more that would be, like, because already like we keep a journal and I just see so many things about this child. I think in my wanting to call them out in that, if I see something that's, you know, like that's not their best, I'd want to help them with that. But I don't know, who knows? Let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to be the more strict parent? You're saying you first, so anyway, we'll see. But yeah, I think that concludes our Q&A. We're actually heading off for a little family staycation.
Yes.
So we might vlog a little bit of that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and you know, thank you for those questions. Remember, let's keep talking. Let's carry on that conversation on Throne. Because these types of questions always come up, and we'd love to connect with you and share even more. But yeah, shall we get out of here?
Let's go.
Okay. Love you, C-Fam.